Hey everyone, I hope you guys are having a great day on the charts here. I've got several messages asking me to go over this morning's trade. So I will do that very quickly here. Hopefully this video won't be too long, but I will show you what I was looking at, what I was thinking, my reasoning for getting in what I did, the reason I targeted where I did, and we'll go through all that right now. So here we go. We're looking at the 3-minute chart, 30-minute candles on the right side. So market is close to opening here. We've tapped into a 15-minute fair value gap. So let me back up and say, if you guys are new, and if you are not new, I'll go ahead and you'll hear me say it again. I trade the fractal model. I'm familiar with inverse fair value gaps, breaker blocks. I've traded all that before and still do at times, but I'm primarily looking at the fractal model because to me it makes the most sense, in the sense that there's a swing point defined, you've got a sweep that occurs, and then additional confluences can be added in there to look for that will give you that higher probability of a reversal. And so this is how I trade. Again, just going through my thoughts, going through what I'm looking at, and I'll just continue on going through this trade here. So first thing I want to say is, let me jump up to the 15. We'll take a look at that for a second here. So if you'll notice, back on Wednesday, yesterday, this big move up, we created this brand new 15-minute higher time frame fair value gap. This guy in the 1 hours, I look at continually. I want to see, have they been tapped into before? You can see we barely got a little tap into it there, dug into it more right here. And so what I'm watching for is, are we going to go down to EQ? Are we going to go down to the bottom? Is there any type of reaction? Or are we going to drop further? And so that's what I'm watching initially. And so let me drop back to the 3. Slide my keyboard over here. And so as we go through the rest of the replay mode here, we've already got the fractal sweep happening, projections plotted. Of course, I'm looking to the left. I'm also looking at what's above us. And you guys have heard me talk about this. I want to see what's on the chart ahead in terms of higher time frame fair value gaps, and I want to see what the higher time frame candles themselves are displaying. And so let me actually go on to here. I'll turn on the 1 hour because I was looking at this also. So as we're moving up on the chart, already in my mind, I'm thinking the draw on liquidity is probably London high, which is up here. But I at least wanted to see it get through this 1 hour here. Let me go up 1 hour on the chart here. And you can see that we've tapped into this a couple of times already. So I'm thinking, based on my journaling, based on my notes, based on the draw on liquidity, we're going to drive through this thing this time and probably go higher, like I said on my posts on X. So that's my thought process is, we're just going to continue higher. And so that's why I made my take profit at the top of that 1 hour fair value gap here. So as it continues on, again, I'm on the 3-minute. Come on. Not sure why we're not going here. This thing just froze on me or something here. It's almost like it kicked me out of replay mode. Where were we at here? Sorry guys, a little technical difficulties here. So here we are, back in the trade. We're going to continue to play forward here. And I'm watching it kind of bounce around in this area. The other thing I mentioned, guys, is I love to see the alignment here on the sweep candle, the previous candle. We've got a very small wick right there. Love to see that. And of course, the other thing I like to do once the trade is in play is I'll come in here and I'll basically say, turn off the first higher time frame candle, you know, you show me the second one here, which is what you see. Well, you can't really see it, but it can show me 2, it can show me 3. So I'm wanting to see, you know, what does the rest look like as well. And we've got that beautiful alignment here on the hourly. So anyway, as it continues higher, we do eventually smack that. We keep going, and if I remember correctly, it does sweep London high, and then you get a beautiful reversal that's happening here. So again, I'm looking at, just kind of recapping things here, I'm looking at a sweep. I'm looking at, are we bouncing off of or reacting off of a higher time frame fair value gap? That gives me higher probability in terms of the overall trade. Or are we sweeping a key level? You know, London high, London low, Asia high, Asia low, previous day high, or previous day low. And those are the key areas that I look for, those highs and lows and those higher time frame fair value gaps. And anytime you see that, and you can think of me and be like, yeah, that dude's probably in a trade right now going on. So anyway, so that's what I'm looking at, guys. And I bounce around obviously to the other time frames. If I get out of this, I've got show you here. I've got a split chart that I look at. I look at the 15, I look at the hour, and I look at the 4 hour to see how are we looking candle wise, what's the higher time frame candles looking like. I don't really look, you know, obviously don't look up to the weekly or look at the weekly, but I'm looking at the daily candle. I'm looking at the candle structure overall, and then obviously looking at higher time frame fair value gaps and where we are. I get this question often. I feel like I answer it nonstop repeatedly, but I will do it again. I'm using the kill zones and pivots indicator that plots the highs and lows for me. London high, London low, previous day high, all that. I'm using FATI's ICT higher time frame fair value gap indicator. And then this is a custom one that I made that does the fractal model. So, and this was another friend of mine. I was using his, and what I had his on the screen because I was comparing the the fib projections when I was working on mine to get mine plotted. You know, I could see it on the screen, see if it was working or not working. I turned his on. Most everything was lining up correctly, and so I mean, as much as I like this, guys, I'll probably remove it coming up here. I do have it saved in my backup charts here, but now that I've got mine working, it's exactly how I want it to be. So these other ones are great, and I've got them saved, but I finally got mine working how I want it. So let me jump back to the one, and I'm going to turn this off to kind of clean up the chart. But that is what we are looking at right now, guys. So again, I keep my main chart, usually a split screen. I will keep one half, usually the left half, very clean like this. I'll have the 5 minute with the fair value gaps on so I can see where we're at. But for the most part, I mean, you guys can see how messy that can be if I turn this on, and it just gets a little wonky. So anyway, all right, you guys have a great rest of your day. I just wanted to just go over my trade with you, and again, just giving you my breakdown of my March 5th overview. All right, you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you on the next one.